I remember my high school locker number still.
Oh my God.
Really?
They had the same locker for 4 years. My synesthesia is why
because
I
the
remember it.
senior.
It is. Because it was yellow, red, yellow. Nick doesn't believe me.
If I could throw this plant at your head right now.
You mean if you had the strength because you don't have any strength? Welcome back to another episode of I Never Liked You with Matteo Lane and Nick Smith. And today we're talking about things that aren't popular anymore that we wish were popular.
Unlike my blouse.
Unlike your blouse. Yes.
It's always been popular.
Certain things for me are like, well, there's sort of like the larger conversations of like, I wish social media cell phones didn't take over everything. So you could like, people watched all the same TV shows and talked about it, or like video games.
Right.
And you had to be with each other to play them or see each other.
I do miss
like
like
that.
family appointment television.
Like, yeah, the TGI
Like the same
Fridays,
shows every family was watching the same night.
TGIF. Everybody watched Steve Urkel. Well, when I was like 5, everyone watched Steve Urkel, Step by Step. You know, then there was, what was it? The Thursdays on NBC was like, Don't Miss Thursdays or something. What was it? Must see TV Thursdays. So it was like Friends, Seinfeld, like ER. They had all these big shows.
I also miss like
Blockbuster.
I do miss a video rental. I would spend so
Or
much
just
time.
the video store was so cool
Right.
to like
I got
go
in one of
there
my
and, like,
biggest customer service fights at a video store.
Really?
What
About
happened?
what?
Yeah. Senior year of high school, I was senior class president, and I planned the senior trip.
To Blockbuster?
No, but we rented this bus, and you could play DVDs on it. So I went to the local Video King, and I said, we're going on a senior class trip. Would you be willing to donate some movies for us to watch on the bus while we're going there? Whoever the worker at the time was, clearly wasn't the manager, but I didn't know that. And they said, yeah, take whatever you want. It's totally fine. We support the kids. Great. So I took a handful of movies, and we were gone for like a week. So I came back and I handed it back, and the manager goes, you owe us $50. And I go, for what? And he goes, you took all these movies. You owe us $50. And I said, oh, no. And I explained the situation, and he gave me an answer that I didn't like, as you're probably aware.
What was the answer?
And he goes, well, he wasn't in charge, so I don't know why they would have allowed that. These are the rules. You owe us money. And I threw a hissy fit. People in line were then starting to chime in, and I go, no one asked you. And I was like 17. And I did. That was
Well, there was something about going to a video store.
Yeah.
Videos were
with
movies.
your parents, and they're like, go pick out a movie.
Yeah,
Ugh.
movies were special back then. Movies are not special now because we have so much access to them.
Right.
You can watch whatever you want, whenever you want, blah, blah, blah. But back then it was like, first of all, you had to see if the movie was even there. Because
Right.
the new movie, everybody else got
Everyone
it before
got.
you. You know, and then you would have to call and see if someone returned it so you could run and get it, and then they had to rewind
And you
the
could
tape.
only rent one or two at a time. So movies were special because then, like, that was your movie for the week. It's
And
not
we
like
used to
you're
rent
watching
video
endless.
games too.
I know I was gonna bring that up.
We used to rent.
too.
My Uncle Mike would rent us video games because my cousins had Super Nintendo. So we would get Bomberman because Bomberman came with a thing that you could 4 controllers, so if all 4 of us could play at the same time. So it was definitely, it was like, that was exciting, that kind of stuff.
I also missed, like, a family vacation via car.
Oh my God, we didn't have a lot of money, so instead of flying
Same.
from Chicago to California, my parents were like, we're driving. And I'm 4, so I was like, we're driving.
I just remember, I mean, we only vacationed growing up to Florida because my grandparents had a place down there. So it was
Did you
the
drive?
only place we went. And we drove every
How long?
time.
16 hours?
How long is a drive from Pennsylvania to Florida? It's probably a full day.
Ours was
If you didn't
2 or 3
stop,
days.
if you didn't stop, it was a full 24 hours
But it was-
probably.
it was
But
so
we would always stop. But it was fun.
Yeah, it's like 18 hours, depending on where you live.
How long is the drive from Chicago
31
to?
hours.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it was a 2 or 3 day drive.
So long.
We stopped at a motel, and I remember they had like you put the quarter in the bed and,
And
it
it
shook,
vibrate.
and then it smelled like manure, and it was so gross and cheap. Looking back now, it was like a scary motel.
I just remember my brother and I would alternate from one lane on the floor and one lane in the backseat because there weren't barely any rules back then about
No, you could do
child
whatever you
safety
want.
or anything.
Yeah.
And then at one point, my aunt and uncle, like, they had money and they got a portable DVD player, so we would like borrow it from them. And it was the tiniest, like this screen is bigger than it was.
But can you imagine watching a movie in a car back then? Forget about it. You were like, oh my God. Like, we just had to like entertain ourselves. We had magnet checkers.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's
yeah.
something about that I kind of miss.
Same. I mean, same. Well, I think it's like,
I mean, I'm much
being younger-
happier flying now, but there is something.
well, I think nostalgia is tied to zero responsibilities. So when we were kids,
Right.
Yeah,
we didn't have
just-
responsibilities. So like, I look back and like, oh, Pokemon Gold and Silver was so much fun. Yeah, because that's all you had to concentrate on.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have job, you didn't have bills, you weren't supporting people. Like, you were just sort of, you had nothing. Like,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, I miss the days of like playing video games at home and then exchanging stories on the playground. You know, I miss playing hide and go seek with my neighbors. I miss just like stuff like that, which, I mean, I'm an adult now, so I'm trying to think of like technological things or something. But everything now is sort of more streamlined. There's too much connectivity.
I have a list of
Oh, let's go. Let's hear it.
Perfect.
AIM, obviously.
Oh my God, away messages.
And away messages.
AIM.
I
Yes.
don't know if I miss it, but I enjoyed it at the time. But texting is obviously.
But it was a dedicated time to message people, and they had to be online. Texting anyone, anytime, anywhere.
But that's what I'm saying. I prefer that. So
You had to be on the computer.
Or there was an away message.
Yeah, or then there was only one,
Right.
And the sounds, the
like I enjoyed it, but I
Door.
don't miss it. I'm happier with the advancement.
Well, I'm happy with all the advanced stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying
but
there
there are
was
some things that you might wish
Yeah,
was
there
like,
was some stuff.
typing on T9 on phones.
I can I
was
tell you
so
something? I would
fast.
say Nick.
Me too.
Same.
I was also very
One time, actually a few times. One time, because when I was in Chicago, I had to take the train to the bus to get to class every single day. So it was just me with all my art shit and a bunch of businessmen. And I was on the Jackson 14 bus downtown Chicago out of Ogilvy, and I was on TN9 typing, and a man next to me just goes, I have never seen anyone type that fast in my entire life. But I could still do it today. You handed me a phone. Can you still do it today?
I don't know, maybe.
I think that I
Wow,
could.
You remember where they
I
all
could.
are?
You know what else I remember? I remember this episode just be nostalgia. I remember my high school locker number still.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Wow.
I do.
Really?
They had the same locker for 4 years, and mine was
Oh,
like
we changed
48
every year.
to 46 open. Because it was
Yeah,
dun
ours were,
dun
like, in the
dun.
door.
And I was next to Matt Langua, who came to one of my shows recently.
I don't remember my locker combination or my locker number. They changed every year in high school. I remember where my senior locker was.
Oh, you changed the locker?
Yeah, because there were sections. There were freshman lockers. There were sophomore lockers.
Well, they just were like, that's what you get.
No, they changed every year.
My synesthesia is why
Because
I
the
remember it.
senior.
It is. Because it was yellow, red, yellow. Nick doesn't believe me.
If I could throw this plant at your head right
You mean
now.
if you had the strength because you don't have any strength?
No, the senior lockers were in the prime location. They were the closest to the exit. So they saved those for seniors, and then the freshmen had the worst possible location for lockers. But I remember where my senior locker was, and I remember who I was in between.
Yeah, I was between Matt Langua and Matt Langgrader.
I was between Edith and Matt. Matt or Mark?
I was by Larissa Kroc, who I went to
Crockpot?
I went to kindergarten with her. I drew a tattoo for her eventually. Yeah, I still remember where my locker was, my number. I avoided walking by a certain section because the popular kids all made fun of me. And so I would have to walk by another section to not be made fun of. I was made fun of a lot in high school.
Why are you laughing at him?
I would have.
You were a fucking loser too.
No, I was.
No,
The
you were
popular
popular
kid that
amongst
would
the
have made
older
fun of
women
you.
who worked in the library. You were not the popular kid at school.
Yes.
No, you weren't. You even said that you weren't.
Within,
You were popular in an academic way, but
no,
you weren't
I
popular in
was
a popular way.
popular, but I was also uncool.
Yeah, shocking.
Hello, everyone in New York City listening and watching. Please get tickets to my next show in Brooklyn on June 18th at Union Hall. I just heard that FX has a new original comedy coming out called Adults, which, after checking out the first episode, feels all too familiar. Adults is a comedy that will feel relatable if you ever find humor in the struggles of being an adult in 2025, which I'm sure most of you do. You know, like remembering your full social security number. I should call my mom about that, actually. Or to drink water, or perhaps having your third existential crisis of the month or the week. It's such a well-written and well-acted show, and it's a young adult comedy really highlighting what it's like being a young adult in this climate. If you know, you know, and after you watch, you'll know. Best part is that all episodes will be ready for your next weekend binge. Watch FX's Adults Wednesdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu. What are you waiting for? Life doesn't happen bi-weekly, so why should payday? The money you earn can be in your hands today with EarnIn. EarnIn is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work. EarnIn is an app that gives you access to your pay as you work. Up to $150 per day with a max of $750 between paydays. What I would use the money from EarnIn for is probably shopping for new clothes, upcoming rent, more ingredients for my smoothies that I am bad at. Make EarnIn a part of your financial routine and join EarnIn's over 4 million customers who say things like, when I think about EarnIn, I think about financial stability, security, and it gives me a lot of peace of mind. Download EarnIn today, spelled EARNIN, in the Google Play or Apple App Store. When you download the EarnIn app, type in I Never Liked You under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. I Never Liked You under podcast. EarnIn is a financial technology company, not a bank. Cash outs are based on your available earnings. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Option to expedite your transfer for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. See the cash out user agreement for details. Service is not available in all states. But
Although
was a
I did win Homecoming King only because Choir.
They felt bad for you?
No, because Choir nominated me. And
People had to nominate you?
Yeah, you had to be nominated. And then, so it was me and 5 football stars. But I realized why I won now because I was not popular. I was there because Choir is bigger than the football team and they didn't have to split the votes. So those 5 guys had to split the votes between the football team. Meanwhile, I had choir, chamber choir, women's choir, show choir vote for me. So I won out of the loser votes.
Did they carry you?
No, but me and Tatiana Rosario, she was also the underdog. It was all a bunch of white bitches, and then it was Tatiana, who I went to elementary school with. Me and Tatiana are still friends. So it was me and Tatiana Rosario, and we won Homecoming King and Queen. We were the underdogs, and all the Latinas were happy, and all the were happy. It was a wonderful. That me and Tatiana still hold on there. Like, you better fucking work, bitch.
I won Homecoming King as well.
You did?
Except we didn't call it Homecoming. We called it semi-formal.
You called it jail.
We called it jail. We called it quinceañera.
You had your quinceañera. You don't even know what that means.
No, we called it semi-formal because we didn't have a football team, so we didn't call it Homecoming.
You didn't have a football team?
No.
How tiny was your school?
I graduated with 90 kids.
How many kids went to your whole high school? Like, how many?
From pre-K to 12th grade was less than 1,000 students. There was a school neighboring ours that had a football team that they would let our players go play on if they wanted to, but we didn't have our own football team.
My graduating class, I think, was like 600 something.
Oh, I can't even.
That was my graduating class.
See, I can't even fathom that because I grew up going to such a small school and then I went to such a small private college that I can't grasp when people are like, I go to Ohio State with 32,000
Well,
kids.
my college,
I literally
same.
can't grasp that.
My college was.
Yeah, but you went to high school with your graduating class was 600. I can't grasp that.
Yes, the high school is different, but it's a suburb of Chicago. Like, it was I think like 100,000 people lived in my town.
But that's what I mean. Like,
we were
we
were in Cook County. We were in next to O'Hare, so it was a lot of people. But in college, I went to School of the Art Institute of Chicago. They only let in like 1,500 kids. So that was a total new experience, but it was downtown Chicago.
Right.
But because I wasn't rich or a foreign exchange student, where like everybody else, I had to take the train, to take the bus, and to go back to work to just.
While you T99'd.
I what?
While you T99'd on the train.
T99. But the rest of them were like rich international kids who went to go paint and live in the dorms and paid $10,000 a semester for that. And my parents like, you are living at home and you need a job. So I worked at Blick and I stole.
You stole at every job. You're a thief.
Mm-hmm.
You're a
bloodbender.
I'm a blood. No, what do they say in Harry Potter? You're a something, Mr. Potter. All right. Well, I screwed
Fuck
it
J.K.
up.
Rowling.
I don't know.
Okay, next question.
So do you want to do tech, food,
Anything.
fashion?
Food and tech. Let's do that.
All right, let's go to food. Dunkaroos,
Oh,
which they actually just brought back.
but it's not the same.
I know they're not the same.
It's not the
I
same.
didn't love them, but I don't like frosting.
I
so
loved Dunkaroos. Loved them. Loved Dunkaroos. Loved koala yummies.
Excuse?
They were little koala cookies. Like they were shaped like koalas and had chocolate on the inside.
And you
They were
got
called koala
chlamydia
yummies.
from them?
No, they're called koala yummies.
Squeeze-Its was
Don't-
those drink bottles. Well,
Never liked them.
Oh.
They might have been called different things.
Never liked them.
Yeah,
Really?
not really. They were too sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Orbitz drinks. They had the weird balls inside.
I don't remember
think
it.
I
I have
know
to see
that
a
one.
picture of it.
Trix yogurt.
Do they not still make Trix
I
yogurt?
think they do.
They
I don't know why
probably
that's
do.
on
Because I have a joke with it in it. But I loved Trix yogurt. It would be like green and pink or yellow and blue.
No, they still make it.
Okay,
I've
yeah,
never
I
been a
loved
yogurt
Trix yogurt.
person.
It wasn't even yogurt; it was sugar, but I loved it.
I've never been a yogurt person.
Bubble tape.
Oh yeah, I used to love bubble tape.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat it now, but I remember. But
Did you play sports growing up?
hockey, roller hockey.
But did you play
and then I
like-
lied and said I played ice hockey because I thought it was more impressive. And then this kid questioned me, and everyone laughed at me. But I played roller hockey because we couldn't afford ice hockey.
So people made fun of you for reasons. You made it too easy. Why
I
would
was
you lie?
because I was a gay kid. I don't know. I was insecure.
But roller hockey and ice hockey, just say you played
Well,
roller
that wasn't
hockey.
people were making fun of me because I was a
Well, yes.
and then they let me know. That was the ice hockey thing was the tip of the iceberg.
Did you like play t-ball though, or soccer or anything?
No.
Because like that was everyone played t-ball, pee-wee soccer,
Well, you had 90 kids
and
in
all
your
that.
town.
It's just like what we all played, and then eventually, as we got older, we went off into whatever other sports you
What
wanted
does
to
it
play.
have to do with Trix yogurt?
What I was gonna say is something that I miss is like
Orange slices?
concession stands at.
Oh,
Like
my
games
cousin
like that?
Brian and Kelly worked at the concession stand at the pool. We all got the
Right.
job through my sister and my cousin Megan. And they called it the cheese for the nachos came in a
Oh,
thing.
in a bag.
So they said, do you want yellow with your chips?
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just, and it could be like for a year. I used
And
to
it
get
costs like 25 cents.
nothing. I used to get, so what was if you went to the concession stand at the pool, what was the candy that you got? Because there was only 2 candies that I got.
I was really into it's like a hard, chewy, almost like a ruler kind of.
Airheads.
Airheads.
I never liked Airheads.
I loved an airhead. And
I got hard sprees, not chewy. Sprees, they're so good. And I got sweet tarts,
Okay.
but not
yeah.
the small, like the big ones that came in a
Oh.
long thing and they were real chalky and kind of, my mouth is watering thinking about it now. They're like tart.
I always got an airhead. I loved an airhead.
I never liked Airheads.
What are the little like burger gummies that like had each
Oh, I
individual?
don't know what
I
those
never
are
liked those
called.
either.
Oh, I was into those.
No.
Or I would get nachos and cheese. Or
I liked nachos and cheese.
our concession stands had Nardone's Bros Pizza.
Yeah, well,
Of course they
too bad you didn't have a microwave.
I worked at a snack bar for like 6 years, so
Oh.
yeah, I ate all.
One time we were working one for my cousin Kelly's basketball game, and so it was me, my aunt Cindy, my cousin Brian, and then this woman, and someone accidentally like put the hot dog in the trash, and she's like, "It's still good." She took it out. Mhm.
I remember when I was little, like in like middle school and stuff, I would go to the high school basketball games or stuff. I wasn't even in high school or played basketball or knew barely anyone on the team. And I would just remember going to the concession stands and telling whatever moms were working that they could go watch and I would work. Why did I do that?
You wanted to be a mother. Me and my cousins.
I
would
was
just,
a loser.
Me and my cousins would run.
I
under
didn't even
the
get paid. I was
bleachers.
just like, I'll do it.
Would you eat candy or
No.
you were too afraid?
No, I just didn't. I don't know what I wanted to
Be a
do
woman.
it. I wanted to be a mom.
You want to be a 45-year-old mom. When I was young with my cousins, we'd always go to my cousin Kelly or Michael's basketball games. The rest of us would just run under the bleachers.
For the longest time, I had something wrong with one of my eyes where a muscle or something didn't grow right away at first, and I was able to completely move one eye in the wrong direction.
Oh my god!
And my older cousins, Jenny and Matt, if you're watching, would bring me to their high school basketball games and stuff. And they'd bring me around to their friends. I was like 6, and they'd be like, Nick, do the eye thing.
No.
And I would do the eye thing for everyone. And then they'd let
This
me
is
go
how
play
you
in
know
the
you're from
hallway.
a small town.
This is how you know you're a loser.
Yeah, and from a small town, they're like, bah, my cousin does that thing.
Literally, they're like, Nick, do the eye thing.
Uh-huh.
And I would do the eye thing. And then they'd be like, all right, now leave us alone. And then I'd go play in the
Go tell
hallway.
a mom you wish you were
Literally.
being a mom. Sorry. Okay, Chris.
All right. Ringtones and ringback tones.
I do.
Oh my God, ring back tones more than ringtones.
Yeah, I was to say, I do miss a ringback tone.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Why did we get rid of
Ringtones
that?
I don't miss because my phone's always on silent.
Ringtones were fun. I had Mariah
Ring back
Carey's "We
tones?
Belong Together."
If you got to pick a song now to be your ringback, what would it be?
Probably Zelda's theme from Ocarina of Time.
There is a song that I've been really obsessed with lately. And Jess Glynn, Hold My Hand.
Oh, you know what
It's from
song?
like 2016.
Do you know what song I've been obsessed with recently? And it's a super, super, super old song. This is so embarrassing, but it's literally. Have you ever heard this song before? I'll get to the chorus. Wait till the chorus. You'll know it. You'll know it. Wait.
We don't have the copyright for this.
We can play blah, blah,
Just
blah.
get to the main part.
Okay, ready? So this is it.
Oh,
It's
Yeah. That's a good
you're
one.
an old man.
woman.
You're an old woman.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Go.
iPod click wheels.
Oh, the ones where you go through.
Yeah.
Oh, the like
You get like
Nana.
1,000
Yeah,
songs.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
those were
I do
fun.
miss those because the more limited you are in what you have, the more you appreciate it. The more expansion you have, the less you appreciate.
Actually, I'm going to take it back even further. Portable CD players.
No,
Like a
I prefer the
Walkman?
iPods because the CD players
I
is
don't know.
clunky
There's
and the thing.
something I really miss about it. I do. I really liked those. Like I remember the first one I got. It was like baby blue, matte finish on it.
Okay.
And my mom was pissed because it was for Christmas and I snuck and saw it in the closet before and she wasn't going to give it to us. Thank you for watching and listening to another episode of our podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please join our Patreon for behind the scenes content and bonus episodes. And until next time.